Hello everyone. In this video, we will explore mangrove restoration as a nature-based solution or MBS for disaster resilience and climate change. MBS are actions that protect, manage, or restore ecosystems to solve human challenges while also supporting people and biodiversity. In simple words, we work with nature, not against it. What are mangroves? They are salt-tolerant trees and shrubs along tropical and subtropical shores. Uh, their above-ground roots weave through mud and shallow water, trapping sediments and holding the shoreline. In those sheltered spaces, juvenile fish and crabs grow safely, which supports coastal fisheries. Mangrove forests also store blue carbon in wood and waterlogged soils, carbon that stays locked away for long periods. Why restore mangroves now? In many regions, they were cleared for shrimp ponds, roads, and housing. Restoration gives three wins at once. The first one is risk reduction. Dense roots and trunks dissipate wave energy and lower storm surge, so water arrives slower and lower at the coast. The second one is climate mitigation per hectare. Mangroves store a lot of carbon, especially below ground, helping slow climate change. Livelihoods, and the third one is livelihoods and biodiversity. They are biodiversity hotspots that support coastal fisheries, mangrove honey, ecotourism, and cultural practices. The protective effect is real. After the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, coasts with forest buffers were less damaged than nearby clear areas. Later, global analyses estimated that mangroves prevent major flood losses each year and reduce the number of people exposed to coastal flooding. These findings explain why many countries now include mangroves in national adaptation plans. Picture a fishing town where storms keep getting stronger. A healthy mangrove belt acts like a living seawall that repairs itself and grows with time. Unlike concrete, it also supports fish nurseries, improves water quality by trapping sediment, and offers resources people can use sustainably. That is MBS mindset. The same ecosystem that protects you from a cyclone also boosts food security and stores carbon. Here's our roadmap. First, how mangroves protect coasts during storms, the physical mechanism with a clear case from Vietnam. Second, more cases, Bangladesh and Kenya, and a deeper look at benefits for nature and people. Finally, we'll be honest about limits and challenges, and we'll apply Naomi Klein's climate justice lens to explain why the way we restore also matters. 2 quick points before we dive in. Myth number 1, you can plant mangroves anywhere. Reality, site elevation, salinity, and tidal flow make or break success. Myth, the second myth, mangroves alone stop every disaster. Reality, they work best with early warning, evacuation plans, and in some sites, hybrid solutions with setback dikes. Globally, mangroves occur in over 120 countries along warm coasts. Big concentrations are found around the Indo-Pacific, the Gulf of Mexico, and Caribbean, as well as West Africa. While area has declined historically, restoration and protection are scaling up, driven by cities, fishers, and national agencies that have seen the benefits firsthand. As storms hit this natural barrier, what exactly happens to the waves and water levels? How much protection can a forest really provide to us?
Thank you, Enrique. Now, think of a mangrove forest as a flexible breakwater. When waves enter the forest, trunks and roots add friction. Wave energy drops, water slows, and sediment settles. This reduces erosion and helps the shoreline stabilize. Over years, organic matter and sediment accumulation can rise the ground slightly, helping coasts keep pace with moderate sea level rise. Because flows are slower, communities behind the forest usually face smaller waves and shallower flooding. Field and modeling studies quantify this effect, showing significant wave height reduction across mangrove belts, with performance depending on forest width, tree density, and storm intensity. Now, large scale research links mangroves with billions of dollars in avoided flood damages every year and protection for millions of people. When mangroves are removed, property losses and human exposure increase. This is why risk managers in the insurance sector are paying attention, not just conservationists. The Vietnam Red Cross in the 1990s, the coastal communities replanted mangroves in front of sea dikes in the northeast. Over time, the green belts calmed storm waves before they reached the dikes. The outcomes were that lower dike maintenance costs, improved local fisheries, and strong community stewardship. Cost benefit analysis reported net economic gains, and the success helped motivate national decrees that prioritize mangrove restoration as core climate adaptation. The three lessons that we learned from Vietnam were that right side, right water, match elevation, salinity, and hydrology, meaning that planning too low or without tidal exchange often fails. Second lesson was to engage communities. We know that local people are daily stewards. When they benefit, they protect young trees and monitor sites. And finally, think long term. Forests need years to mature. Stable funding and monitoring are essential. Now, a case from Bangladesh, specifically in the 1960s, has planted large coastal greenbelts. Recent projects use multiple native species in commandment with villages. During cyclones like Sitter or Ayla, these belts help break waves and protect embankments, working alongside early warnings and evacuation. Communities now report both safer coast and new livelihood options linked to mangroves, meaning beekeeping, crab fattening, and small ecotourism ventures. Now, I'd like to quote a paraphrase from the UNDP Case Voices that said that mangroves save us from devastating cyclones. They feed fish, store carbon, and protect land from erosion, meaning that they value the money that can fully measure. Beyond local experience, cost benefit studies in many regions show a strong return on investment for mangrove restoration when long term risk reduction is included. This has opened doors for innovative finance, from public climate funds to parametric insurance and blue carbon credits, provided governance is clear and benefits are shared fairly. And in exposed locations, a hybrid approach works: a setback dike with wide mangrove belt in front. The forest reduces forces on the dike, and the dike offers extra protection in extreme events. The result is often cheaper over time because natural defenses lower maintenance and bring co-benefits. Other regions from the Caribbean to West Africa are applying the same logic, targeting high-risk shorelines, restoring mangroves for both safety and livelihoods, and using community agreements so gain last. So the mechanism is clear and the evidence is strong, but what are the full benefits when restoration succeeds? And what pitfalls should we avoid?
For the next part, we'll be looking at several benefits. Let's start with the first three. Environmental. Restoration brings back complex habitat and improves water quality by trapping sediments. As blue carbon system, mangroves store large carbon stocks, especially in soils, supporting climate mitigation. Healthy mangroves also connect with nearby ecosystems, supporting seagrass meadows and coral reefs by filtering runoff and exporting organic matter. Social-wise, behind healthy mangroves, communities feel safer during storm season. Food security improves when fisheries recover. Many projects, including training for local people and youth, building capacity and pride. In several places, restoration also revives cultural practices, small-scale fishing, traditional honey, or planting festivals. Economically, Avoiding damages translate into real savings for families and governments. Studies often find high returns on investment for restoration when long-term risk reduction is counted back. At local scales, incomes can grow from fisheries, honey, ecotourism, seedling nurseries, and where governance is solid, blue carbon credits the channel funds into community priorities. In Gazi Bay, Kenya, the Mikoko Pamoja communities restores and protects mangroves and sells verified blue carbon credits. Revenues fund schools and water while the forest protects the shoreline and supports fisheries. This project links mitigation and adaptation with local leaderships at the center. It shows how outside finance can support community priorities where rules are clear and benefits are shared. Now, the limits. Many projects struggle because of wrong elevation, monocultures, or ignoring hydrology. Planting without restoring tidal flow often fails. Benefits take 5 to 10 years to grow, so short funding cycles and plant and walk away approaches are risky. Land tenure conflicts can block or reverse progress. And if global emissions stay high, sea levels rise, and stronger storms may exceed local adaptations can handle. Now, for good practice, looks like this. Diagnose why mangroves were lost. Restore tidal exchange and match species to microsites. Use diverse planting or support natural regeneration where conditions are right. Monitor and adapt each season. Replace failures early. Pair restorations with early warning systems and local disaster plans. Align policies and enforcement so new clearings does not erase gains. Now, Justice Lens from Naomi Klein. She argues that climate solutions should also make society fair, not only count carbon. For mangroves, the means recognizing community rights and sharing benefits fairly, and avoiding green colonialism. Where nature is fenced off and local people are excluded, it also means NBS must complement, not replace, emissions cuts. Planting mangroves is not licensed to keep polluting. It should go with deep decarbonization. The strongest projects are community-led, transparent, and treated as public goods. Our key takeaways should be that mangroves restoration is a high-value NBS. It reduces disaster risk, and stored carbon, support livelihoods, and protects biodiversity with good ecology, community leadership, and justice-first design. We can protect people and nature at the same time. Thanks for watching. If this inspired you, consider supporting local restoration groups or student projects that help bring mangroves back.